they put in the offseason, and that's where players get better. So I look for the role players to continue to step up, and Kobe, you know he's going to be dominant at the end of the year.
The Lakers 15-9, who would have thunk it? We know about Phoenix, we know about San Antonio, we know about Dallas. The Lakers have the 4th best record in the Western Conference. Kobe Bryant, we all understand he's probably the most talented player in the game on both ends. But he's decided he's going to take on the leadership role with some young guys, and he's managing the game. He knows later in the season he can go out and get 40 or 50 whenever he chooses. But if these guys get better during the season, Jay, because you get a chance to see these guys play a lot, then they're going to be a tough out come playoff time.
Yeah, they could be looking at getting to the second round this year, Mark.
And J.A., we mentioned earlier in the show about maybe both teams thinking about what might have been. How close do you think these two teams were to actually pulling off a trade involving Kobe Bryant?
Well, the trade talks were certainly very active. I don't think they ever got to the point of imminent. The problem was they started so far apart. The Lakers were asking for everything. They wanted a Deng and a Gordon and a Heinrich, and the Bulls were trying to hang on to those prized possessions. But the Lakers said, if we're going to trade you the best player in the league, we have to get, at the very minimum, your best player back in return. The Bulls weren't going to go for that. I think now they might be having second thoughts because this roster doesn't look like it's equipped to do damage in the playoffs.
Well, when I look at the Chicago Bulls and what the Lakers wanted, I struggle with who's their best player on the Chicago Bulls. But I look at Kobe Bryant. I'm glad Mitch Kupchak didn't, trade Kobe Bryant, even though Kobe has that trade clause in his contract, because Kobe does something that everybody else doesn't do in the NBA. He puts pressure on his teammates to get better, to live up to his stature, to improve, to go and work on his game, to go and work on their game. So that puts a lot of pressure on the front office and players, and some players don't like it, and some front offices don't like it. But the Lakers, they seem to be right in the ship right now with winning.
And Jalen, with that hammer of having the no-trade clause, is Kobe in a situation where if you go on the premise you can never get enough for your superstar in return, is he going to remain a Laker for a while, you think?
Well, he has the best position of any player in NBA history. Take that from a player that's been traded a few times.
How many's a few?
More than one. At the end of the day, it's not are the Lakers going to trade Kobe, is when and if Kobe will trade the Lakers. And ultimately, I think he is a guy that's a historian of the game, and he loves understanding that he can finish his legacy with one team. And I think that's really, really wants ultimately if this team improves.
All right, the Lakers much improved seemingly over last season, and they sweep the season series from the Chicago Bulls. Right now on ESPN.com, Bill Simmons ranks the NBA's top 50 players with the highest trade value, including the untouchables, LeBron James and Dwight Howard. That's now on ESPN.com. Another brutal loss by the Knicks Monday night. The Pacers shot 58% from the field and blew out the Knicks. It was the 5th time this season the Knicks lost by 25 or more points. Head coach Isaiah Thomas says we may shake things up.
It's safe to say that if we're not happy about where we are, and I'm not happy about where we are, and if we don't turn it around soon, then yeah, we'll have to make some changes. There's a lot of competitive fire in me that still burns, and somehow I got to get our team to play with that type of competitive fire.
All right, competitive fire aside, the Knicks last in the NBA in key offensive and defensive categories, not to mention scoring differential. This team is BAD, the Knicks losing games by nearly double digits. Coming up, we run the break. The Nets were expected to contend in the East, but so far they've been pretenders. With the Kings in town, New Jersey looks to break out of its funk. On Wednesday, a test for the Big Three. The streaking Seas welcome the Pistons to Boston with early season bragging rights up for grabs. Our analyst will break it down. Michael Jordan may be wearing a suit most days, but his front office duties have not kept him off the court. This is NBA Fast Break.
The Simpsons Movie.